Hey guys, welcome back to the NFL reaction, reaction show. NFL Pro Football Sunday games. I don't know what to call it. I don't know what the rules are. We're just going to keep it going until someone says otherwise. But back with the reactions. If you noticed, if you didn't, or if you did notice, didn't do any predictions, any picks for last week. Last week was an insane week, just personal life, scheduling, all that stuff. So wasn't able to get a picks out, and thankfully I didn't, because it would have probably been awful, because week 5 was insane as far as NFL goes. Upsets, player injuries, and it just mounted up. COVID games, like Patriots didn't end up playing. The Titans and Bills game was up in the air until the last minute. And it's just, COVID's really thrown a wrench in all the NFL, and it's just nuts. And I can't believe that the Titans aren't getting punished more for the complete disruption that they've put on just the entire NFL. Just the ripple effect is crazy. And I just saw right before starting this that the Falcons have shut down their facilities because they might be on the verge of an outbreak as well. So keep an eye on COVID for your fantasy and your bets and all that, and just rooting for your team in general, because it's crazy. But let's go ahead and talk about probably the news of the week. So a buddy of mine hit me up, said, hey, let's get together and watch football on Sunday. Bring some food. We'll grill it, smoke it. I said, always down. Bring it. Cody ended up coming over with us. And so we just had a guy's day, just cooking meat and watching football. And we were all in our own world. Cody and I were talking shop. My buddy was in the house because we were on the back porch watching. And me and Cody were talking, and I get a text. Dak just broke his ankle. I stopped, looked up at the TV, and at that moment, they showed the shot of the Jones family in the booth, hugging each other and crying, and cuss words, unbelievable amounts of loud cuss words. My buddy that was inside comes running out. What just happened? I just heard Dak and broke, and we watched it all unfold. Dak Prescott on a quarterback sneak or draw. Fluke injury, it happens, but just got his ankle rolled up on, compound fracture and dislocation. And before we get into anymore else, like a freaking boss, when he got hit and he rolled over and realized his ankle was messed up, he slammed it on the ground thinking it was just a dislocation, trying to pop that sucker back in and go. That's my quarterback. Dak Prescott is the truth, and he's a beast. And like I said on the podcast last week and in the predictions or reactions, I can't remember which one, Dak should have got paid. He still deserves to be paid. That's my guy. That's the guy to lead the Cowboys. And if you don't believe me now, just look at the reaction that just across the team, across the league, that injury had. The outpouring from other players in the league. Everyone on his team pretty much came over to him. And even Jason Garrett and players for the Giants consoling him and wishing him well. So the injury is not like a long-term issue. It's not like tearing your ACL or anything like that. They've already done the surgery, did it same night. And he'll be back, they're saying 4 to 6 months. So he's out for the season, don't get me wrong on that. But he will be back for possibly spring OTAs and training camp next year. So we'll see if he sticks to being a Cowboy. I mean, he deserves to get paid, and there ain't no more playing. The Jones family messes him again, he's going to walk. He's going to walk. I'm just calling it. But with that said, dude, he's the guy. And if you can't, like, there's some things you can't put on paper, but when you see a guy get injured like that, injuries happen in the NFL all the time, but then you see the outpouring and the replies and the reaction on the field. That dude's a leader of men, and he is, whether it's for the Cowboys or another team, He's the franchise, and he's the guy for whatever team he's going to play for long term. And I will root for him. That is my dude. Dak Prescott needs to be paid, and I want him to be a Cowboy for a long time. But to the reaction in general, shock. Of course, you saw his ankle just hanging out there, and then. But on the flip side of it, that was devastating and hurtful. But on the flip side of it, an under the ground, like low key, maybe sign of the year may end up being Andy Dalton as the backup quarterback for the Cowboys. Because as soon as he come in, I know he went 9 for 11, I think. Like, nothing crazy, but there at the end, him and Gallup hooking up to seal the victory. He could be a starter on other teams, but he was our backup. He's from Texas. He went to TCU, hometown guy kind of. And having him as a backup is great, and we're going to see that now. It's better than any situation when Romo used to get hurt and we had to throw any quarterback that could just hold a football out there. Andy Dalton may be like a sign of the year when it's all said and done. And I saw it so we were joking about it. We couldn't remember his nickname. I think it used to be the Red Rifle, I think is what. Could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But they're going over names on the radio that I heard it. And my favorite now is the Ginger Avenger. So Ginger Avenger, Andy Dalton, coming in to start for the Cowboys. And let's go. We're going to find out. But in more news, Le'Veon Bell's time with the Jets is over. After apparently trying to trade him for the last year. Even up to last week, they could never find a trade partner. And they just cut him. So now we're on Le'Veon Bell watch. They're talking about contenders, the Bears, the Chiefs, the Patriots possibly. So we're going to see where Bell lands, and hopefully he can return to form because he is on my fantasy team. But the Jets now under Gase, just a complete dumpster fire. They got rid of Jamal Adams. They've gotten rid of Le'Veon Bell. Sam Darnold's injured. Like, it's about as bad as it gets for the Jets, and we'll just see. I mean, I'm excited to see where Bell goes, just for fantasy reasons, and I think he can still produce. I mean, Jets are the Jets. So, also on fantasy impact, Michael Thomas, he's been injured every week. You've been waiting for him to come back. He was supposed to come back this last week, scratched last minute. I thought it was just an injury deal. Come to find out, dude got suspended. Because in practice last week, him and his other teammate got into it, and Michael Thomas apparently just whooped the shit out of him. Just waylaid on him, and then got in an argument with Coach Payton. And that's why Michael Thomas got suspended for 1 week, and they're on their bye. So it's going to be another week of waiting on Michael Thomas to come back if you're a Saints fan or you have him on fantasy. But the fact that after weeks of being injured, he's ready to come back, and dude gets in a fight to get suspended before a bye week, I mean, don't get me wrong, I always like a good football fight, but I need him on my fantasy team, and I had no idea that he got suspended for fighting, which is just absurd. I don't know how you set your best player on your team. Pretty much should have leeway to do whatever he wants, but if you don't recall, back in the 90s, a certain high-profile wide receiver for the Cowboys may or may not have allegedly attack the guy with scissors. So, just throwing that out there. A little fight ain't going to do nobody no harm. And then as far as the games go, Kansas City Chiefs get upset by the Raiders, Raiders are a solid squad. Under Gruden, Derek Carr's looking good. Like, the wide receivers are pretty stacked, and Jacobs is doing his thing. Like, Raiders might do some damage come playoff time and for the rest of the season. So Chiefs get the shocker against the Raiders. And then the other big, like, crazy one was a Tuesday night COVID game. The Titans just worked the Bills. Like, the Bills are looking like one of, if not the best team in the NFL. And they just got completely worked by Tannehill and the Titans. And Derrick Henry just stiff-arming Josh Norman into another universe. Just gone. And the memes, the things on the internet were hysterical as far as Josh Norman goes. And so the big upset was Chiefs losing, Bills losing. Another week, we're on week 6. I mean, this season's going fast. It always does. I will be back with another reaction for this week. We'll get back on track. There's no new Modern Dude Chat listening episode. Again, just scheduling conflicts this week and couldn't crank one out. But we'll be back next week, so be sure to check out the Modern Dude Chat podcast. Follow us on social media across the board at Modern Dude Chat. Want to holler at me, talk football or whatever, at Modern Chuck. You can find Cody at CODYMURF. And check out the podcast, Modern Dude Chat. Check out beardsupply.com. Fall's coming, winter's coming, all that stuff. Support us, like, subscribe, comment, all the good things, and keep this thing going. So with that, we'll get out of here and have a good week. Peace.